Welcome to Entrepreneurs Conquering the World, how to build a global audience and profit from it. With your host, Carmen Ring.
Hello everyone, welcome to our show, Entrepreneurs Conquering the World. My name is Carmen Ring, I'm your host, and today I have with me a very successful businesswoman whom I've had the pleasure of knowing for quite some years now. She's Remy Meraz. Welcome, Remy.
Thank you, Carmen, for having me. Very excited to be here.
Remy is a social entrepreneur, and she has over 25 years of being an expert in sales and marketing. Actually, she managed marketing campaigns for brands like VH1 and HBO. Her passion and goal is to transform lives a million at a time, like she likes saying it. Now, Remy, her most recent project, she's the founder and the CEO of Me Time Network. And that's a company producing and distributing video content to help people think and feel better anytime, anywhere. Remy also has an expertise in varied businesses. At one point, she was for many years involved in the clean energy business. So she has a very wide experience and she can give advice about a wide variety of businesses. But I'm going to let her say more about it. Remy, once again, welcome to our show. Tell us about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Well, Carmen, as you mentioned, my career, I've had 20 plus years in sales and marketing, and I've been very fortunate to work for large corporations and small corporations, and also travel extensively around the United States and globally into other countries. And there were three things that came up for me in my journey, not only professionally, but also in my personal life, that really were the catalyst for me starting Me Time Network. And what that was number one, personal problems, right? We all have them, no one is immune to them. We all have personal issues and different things that we're dealing with on a daily basis in different areas of our life. And what I saw was that we often lack resources, right? That could be time or money, or even the self-awareness to know what's available to get help for those problems. And there seems to be a lot of stigma around getting help for your problems. This not only came up in my own personal life, but this was a common theme in talking with colleagues or with friends. And secondly, there's work-life problems, right? So if you ask any leader of any company, or the management team, they will tell you that the number one challenge that they have in the workplace is people bring their issues to work. And that oftentimes, they are spending more time managing people and their problems than they are actually working in their business, right? That there's conflict at work with colleagues, and people don't necessarily have the skill sets to navigate that conflict and get through it all. And then lastly, there's an increase in depression. And, for me as an employer and as a parent, the data, the statistics that are out there is very alarming. Here in the US alone, the increase in antidepressant usage is up about 30%. It's at an all-time high, but yet the suicide rate is also up. So I believe it's 35% with adults 35 plus. And then on college campuses, the two top problems that students are facing are anxiety and depression. And when you look in the workplace, there's over $150 billion lost in productivity to companies because people are taking personal days to deal with personal issues. So clearly, folks need help with problems. They want the help. And we at Me Time Network are really about creating a solution to connect people with the professional experts who can help them.
These are some very sad statistics you shared here with us, and I'm glad and I appreciate what you're doing in creating the Me Time Network, and having an interest, a social interest in helping and in solving these problems. Thank you, Remy, for doing that and for caring so much about us and people around us. And I know that your care is so expanded that you actually serve a multicultural market. You're not just focusing on on a local community, or maybe it's local but just on a wide variety of people. What made you decide this? How did you make this decision?
Well, Me Time Network is really wanting to make, like I said, getting the help easier. It's really about helping put new tools in people's emotional toolbox, right? And with a multicultural audience, there seems to be a lot of stigma around getting help for your problems. And when I say stigma, a lot of it can be shame or embarrassment, right, in getting the help that you may need, and you may not feel comfortable talking about what you're going through with a professional. I know in my own personal experience, in my family and in my community, that a lot of people believed that getting help was only available to the wealthy, right? That you go to therapy, if you can afford to go to therapy, they think only wealthy people can do that. And this is really about giving people an opportunity to access help in an affordable and private way. And so that was the big reason behind it. It was just that in multicultural communities, there's a lot of stigma that we would like to break down that stigma.
So this is obviously one of the challenges you face in your business. Well, it's a challenge and in the same time an opportunity, because this is part of what inspired you to create this business the way you did. Now, talk a little bit also about the benefits and the rewards of serving a multicultural market.
Well, obviously, with reaching a multicultural audience means that you get to build a global business, right? But for us at the Me Time Network, this is really about creating that social impact and being able to help as many people as possible. And some of the challenges that you might come across, though, in doing that, in reaching a multicultural audience, is that you you need to be able to connect with people in the way that they want to be connected with, right? That people have learned differently and also access information differently. So it really is about understanding in the nuances in each different culture. So I'll give you an example. In the Hispanic, culture, or the Latino culture, that you have multiple subsets of each culture. So you may, there's Mexico, there's Spain, there's South America, there's Latin America, and each of those individual countries have their own cultural nuances that you need to really understand, and understand, again, how to reach them.
And because you mentioned that, all these subdivisions of each culture, and that you have to know how to reach every person depending on their background. Coming back to your field of expertise, marketing, do you use different tools and different approaches to approach these markets to make sure that the audience is open to getting your message? Is it different when you promote to the Hispanic community, because you just mentioned it, or when you promote to the, let's say, the English-speaking part of the US?
Right. Well, the key is, as with in our business and any business for that matter, it's really understanding the behaviors of your target audience. It's really understanding how they think, how they learn, what's best in reaching them. And again, for us, it's about making the world a better place. And the more you study your audience and understand the different tools that are available to reach them, then the better off you'll be. And my background, and along with my team, that is our expertise, is that we know how to speak to them, how to reach them, and ultimately tie the messaging all together in a way that's going to serve them best.
And you just mentioned your team also. Along the way in building, this sounds like a very complex business in terms of you have to understand psychology a lot. In a lot of business, psychology is important, but in your case, probably much more than in other businesses. Did you yourself have some mentors in creating this business? Did you consult with other people? I mean, you are a mentor yourself to a lot of people, a lot of your customers, a lot of your clients, the people you serve. But how about the mentors that you have yourself?
So a lot of this comes from my own personal background and experience, just my growing up. So I came, America, the U.S. is a very big melting pot, and I come from a very multicultural family. Living in California, I've lived in San Diego, LA, San Francisco. I've traveled abroad, and all of that experience within my own family. I have, Latino, I have Filipino, I have African American, Pacific Islander. So growing up with such diversity and being able to travel and see and talk to people, you really get a lot of insight. And I think the commonality is just really understanding that we all have emotions, right? We can all be very different in where we live, the geography, and maybe how we're raised, but if we all have the same emotions, we all cry, right? If we feel pain, if we feel sadness, if something traumatic happened, to a woman, and let's, take a very serious subject of domestic violence or, any type of violence like that, people still feel the same emotions, right? And so it just really comes down to understanding that and how to communicate with people in a way that's going to make them feel safe to learn and to grow. And I think the beauty of social media and video, and just like what you're doing here with these video interviews, it just seems like the natural fit, right, to distribute this video content and show them the people who can not only help them, but also other people like you and me, our storytellers, who will share experiences and that will resonate across the board.
So when you say that you connect people with people, do you mean you connect, people who had some problems in life and have overcome them with other people who are at those stages? So just people who support each other, or do you also have some experts that you work with that can give some advice to your audience? Do you work with somebody specific, or is just everybody who wants to join and share their opinion and their experience?
Yeah, so when we talk about that, we're going to help people think and feel better. It is going to be through our videos, which feature experts from the psychotherapy and the personal development, self-improvement industry. But it's also about building a community where we can all share, because that is very common when you are going through something that you might not want to talk about it with somebody, that you feel alone and nobody understands what you're going through, right? So if you can actually connect with other individuals, and, our Me Time Network is really about empowering people. So it's more focused on solutions and not the problems. We all know we have the problems, but how do we fix them? How do we overcome them? How do we empower, not only ourselves, but each other to live happier, more productive lives? I mean, if you look at the focus for decades, hundreds and thousands of years, We focus so much on just intelligence, IQ. We focus on job skills. Our video content is really driven to help individuals, like I said, empower them to put new tools in their emotional toolbox, and want you to imagine that a world where people are happier, right? They're kind. They have more empathy. They're more trusting, and that's what we want to do. And it's really about creating this place online with Me Time Network. And you come and you actually get some me time, and you're empowered and you're learning, and not a place where it's just about griping and, negative Nellies. This is really about people helping people and people learning to help themselves.
And since we spoke about multicultural market, is Me Time Network going to be bilingual, or you're just going to start with English, or how is that going to come?
Well, yes, English first. Obviously, we start with what we know, and then we are moving into multi-language as well as we grow. And it's interesting because we have posted some videos. Our first initial videos we did in English and Spanish, and the engagement is tremendous, especially with the Spanish videos. So we're getting over 50% engagement, with both English and Spanish. And I've been approached by many other people asking, what about my language? It's really about staying focused. It's a big world out there, and a lot of different languages and a lot of different people, but you have to be strategic, and you have to be smart with the way you go about reaching your audience, and the needs, addressing the needs that are out there in the various communities.
And thank you for sharing that. I know that where you live in San Diego, it's almost starting business over there. It's almost a must to address at least 2 communities, because that's the population you have. Even if your business is local, your local is multicultural. So it's almost a must. That applies to everyone who lives in such a place. Taking into consideration your market is already multicultural, and having the power to understand them and to see the differences between people. Like you said, the one thing we have in common is that we all have the same emotions. We all react the same, or pretty similar to what happens to us. However, we might not all be as open to sharing our emotions and to ask for help, like you said. And this is where Me Time Network comes in to approach the audience and to create a safe space for everyone to share what they go through and to have confidence that this is the right place. What are some of the, we got the general idea of the business and the great message and the great purpose of it. What are some of the steps? How do you see your business growing in the next year? Some of the long-term goals of your business?
Well, for us, it's about, reaching as many people as possible, and utilizing the power of social media and the power of the network effect, with our audience. And that when you see people sharing, a video with, and I'll give you an example. We posted a video, and we had 2 millennial girls share the video with their mothers, right? And that was such a beautiful thing to see, especially for me as the founder and the visionary of this, idea, and seeing it come to life. But that was exactly one of the things that I wanted to happen, right? That we can empower people individually, but then they'll start spreading that message with their family members or their friends or their colleagues, and wanting really for the place to be where people just feel safe. And I think when people feel safe, or they see that they're improving in their daily life, they're going to want to share it. I believe, and I've been told by some others and some experts who've been doing this a long time, but people genuinely want help, and people want to be better. People want to think better. They want to feel better. they want to be better people. They want to do better. They just don't know where to go, and a lot of times we get so stuck in our problems that it's paralyzing, right? And you just don't know what to do. So if people can come to the Me Time Network and get some emotional relief, see an expert, who will give you a quick tip or give you some advice, and or be able to see dialogue with other people that are going through what you're going through. I think that, at the end of the day, people want to be happy. And when people are happy, they spread that message.
And, it's interesting. You said people want to feel better and they want help, and maybe they just don't know where to go. I also think besides wanting help, people also want to give help. People also feel good when they can help someone else. It can be either through their experience or through an advice. I think that also makes someone happy when they are able to help someone. Now, besides—
Absolutely. And, our network of experts that we're working with, they're amazing, incredible people. There's a lot of other resources available to people that they just don't know about. There's seminars and programs, there's books, there's apps, there's other tools that are available to people. And most people just don't know, right? And we want to be that central location where you can come to us and know that we are going to connect you to the people, the places, the things that are going to help you live a happier, more productive life. And, speaking of which, one of the gifts that we would love to offer your viewing audience is if they come to our website and, provide us with their email, we'll provide them with a free downloadable book from one of our many authors that we're working with. These are people that specialize in anxiety, in relationships, in health and wellness, and productivity. So depending on what we have in the library there, but everyone who comes and gives us an email address, we would love to begin our extension of helping them, with a book and a gift from our network of experts.
Thank you so much, Remy. That's a very generous offer, and I encourage our audience to go and check out your website, www.metimenetwork.com, as they can see on the screen, and take advantage of this offer. Now, besides social media, which I know you're very good at, do you use any other channels in promoting Me Time Network? How can other people find out about you, and come and share their story or ask for help? What would be the procedure?
Right. So, well, obviously, definitely coming to the website and to our social media channels. We are also at different events around right now in California. We are actually attending and a lot of the great seminars and programs that are out there, and reaching people that way, where we're backstage interviewing some of these top-notch trainers. There's so many good, not even good, great. There's really great teachers out there, right? And that have really great content, and everybody resonates with different people in different ways. So for us, it's really about, reaching people online, but also through our Me Time events. And, if there's some folks that have seminars and workshops and would like us to be a part of it, we would absolutely love to help them.
What advice would you give to our audience, to the people who want to serve a larger market and they feel they don't really know how to start or what to do?
So, I always say soar with your strengths, and for the areas where you may be weak or, not as knowledgeable, surround yourself with good people that can help fill in the knowledge gaps and who have the expertise that you may not have. So I've been, very fortunate to build a team that are all subject matter experts in what they do, right? So in the marketing piece and the technology piece. And But it really comes down to, you have to do your own homework and research, but it's really about getting clear on who you want to reach first and foremost. And start small. Start with a couple of segments. You got to test and measure and verify constantly. And with technology evolving very quickly and social media platforms, so many coming and going, right? But it really is about surrounding yourself with the right teammates and or outsourcing to the experts who can help you, that are service providers. There's a lot of them out there, but first and foremost, it starts with you getting clear on who you want to serve and why you want to serve them.
Thank you for this advice. And one last question, and part of the answer, I'm sure you already said it in this answer. Some of it is common. What was the connection? Because you have such a mixed background, from clean energy. I know at one point when I met you, you were working with, you were in sales and marketing, but it was in the field of energy generators and engines. And I know we're talking about kilowatts and all these technical aspects. And now you are in this business that it's so different than that. It has such a psychological and such a personal aspect. What would you say are some common points between these two? Because if somebody can successfully run these businesses that are so different, I'm sure you found some common
So,
everybody can benefit from.
I have a marketing brain. I'm great with people. I love people. So that made it a natural fit for sales and business development. And so although I've transcended different industries, it's been my core gifts and expertise that have allowed me to do, first, to transcend different industries, but two, to do very well in everything that, I did in each different industry. And again, it was doing my homework but there was one really defining moment for me personally. And that's when I was working in the entertainment industry. And I was working on a promotional project for a movie studio and was in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina came barreling through. I was ended up being the last flight out of the city. And that experience changed my life tremendously. And what I realized in that moment is through that experience, was that I was actually very unhappy at that time in my life. I used to be very driven by money, and I worked a lot of hours to earn that money, but I wasn't very happy. What I'm doing now, I say now I'm even though I was working in the energy business before, now I'm in the people energy business, right? But it all stems from my own personal life experiences. And so I really took it upon myself, to learn and empower myself by reading books. And then when I could, go to therapy on my own, I started doing that, and then working with life coaches and going to programs. And it really changed my life tremendously. And so my gifts are really sales and marketing. I have a marketing brain, but I love people. So that made me a natural for sales and business development. And I can literally connect the dots to every experience I've had personally and professionally that had led me to creating this. What I was doing at the time, was it really making a difference? And coming out of that experience saying, I want to make a difference in the world, and I really want to help people. And it sounded so big, and I didn't really know what that meant, but I just knew that particular experience changed my life tremendously, and how I looked at everything, and it made life more valuable to me. And I just wanted to make a difference. And that led me to working in the green industry. And I loved working for the energy company because I knew we were making a difference. But at the time, it didn't really it stopped resonating with me in terms of connecting with people, right? And when the company I was working for actually closed its doors and filed Chapter 11, I said, this is it. This is my time to to go for my entrepreneurial dream and to really help people. And it was actually in a personal development program that I was doing. I think that's where we met, right? And that program, it was there that I had a big breakthrough. And I got over my fear of being an entrepreneur, number one. And I realized that I was helping other companies make millions of dollars, and why wouldn't I be able to do that for myself, number one, for my own company?
Congratulations for everything you've done so far and how you changed your career. And I'm sure you are an inspiration for a lot of the people watching us. Once again, all of you, please check out Remy's website, MeTimeNetwork.com, and take advantage of the book she's offering. She's going to offer a book of one of her experts that she's working with. This is going to be some very valuable information that you can all apply in your own life. Remy, once again, thank you for joining us and for your time and sharing your expertise with us. And to all of my audience, thank you for watching another episode, and I will see you very soon in another episode. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching Entrepreneurs Conquering the World with your host, Carmen Ring.